Most men are completely wrong about what turns women on. Sex is actually not the strongest trigger of desire in many relationships. In fact, some of the most powerful attraction switches happen long before anything physical ever begins, and almost no one talks about them. Some of the most powerful attraction switches are so subtle, so normal looking, that men do them every day without realizing they're either building desire, or killing it. So if it's not sex, then what is it really? What actually turns her on more than anything physical? In this video, we're breaking down the psychological triggers that create deeper attraction in women than physical intimacy itself. We're talking about emotional arousal, cognitive attraction, and subconscious bonding mechanisms that come from psychology, not guesswork. Concepts from attachment theory, dopamine response patterns, and emotional safety research all point to one thing. Desire is not just physical. It is built in the mind first. And when you understand that, you stop chasing attraction, and start creating it naturally. By the end of this video, you'll see why some men don't need to try so hard, yet still generate more attraction than men doing everything right physically. Let's go deep. A man sits across from a woman who is talking about her day. He nods, listens, but interrupts with solutions. "You should just do this," she smiles politely, but something shifts. The emotional spark disappears. Now imagine another man. He listens. He pauses. He says, "That actually sounds frustrating." Nothing more. And suddenly, she leans in. This is emotional validation theory in psychology, the idea that people feel most connected when they feel understood, not fixed. Emotional understanding activates reward centers in the brain similar to physical pleasure because it creates psychological safety. Practical shift. Stop trying to solve her emotions. Reflect them first. Understand before responding. Because when a woman feels emotionally seen, attraction begins at a level deeper than physical touch. And that's just the beginning. A woman expresses frustration. The average man reacts, defends himself, explains, escalates. The interaction becomes tension. But then there's a different type of man. He stays steady, calm, present. And something unexpected happens, her emotional intensity softens. This is emotional regulation in psychology. The nervous system naturally mirrors the stability of the person opposite us. Calmness signals safety. And safety is one of the strongest precursors to attraction. Because the brain cannot fully relax into desire when it perceives emotional instability. Practical advice: when tension rises, slow your responses. Lower your tone. Don't rush to defend. You're not trying to win the moment. You're trying to stabilize it. And that stability becomes attractive in a way words cannot explain. Next one is where things get even more interesting. A woman notices something strange. One man gives her constant attention, but it feels scattered. Another gives less attention, but when he does, it feels focused, deliberate, present. Guess which one creates more attraction? This connects to selective attention psychology. The brain assigns more value to attention that feels intentional rather than automatic. Random attention feels cheap. Focused attention feels meaningful. Think about eye contact. Half listening while scrolling. Or fully present silence. The difference is emotional impact. Practical shift: stop multitasking in conversations. Look at her fully. Respond fully. Be fully there, or not there at all. Because attention is not about quantity. It's about weight. And weight creates emotional pull. A man shares everything too quickly. His thoughts, his schedule, his feelings, his entire inner world. At first it feels open, but quickly, attraction fades. Then another man reveals himself slowly. Not hiding, but pacing. And curiosity starts building naturally. This is the psychology of controlled disclosure. The brain is wired to pursue incomplete information. It activates dopamine pathways tied to curiosity and reward. But here's the key distinction: mystery is not emotional unavailability. It is structured openness. Practical advice: don't overshare to create connection. Share gradually. Let conversations unfold instead of forcing depth too early. Because curiosity is one of the most underrated forms of attraction. And now we go deeper. They're deciding where to eat. One man says, "Whatever you want." Another says, "Let's go here." Simple. Direct. Calm. And something shifts in her perception immediately. This is decision leadership psychology. The brain associates decisiveness with confidence and stability. It's not about control. It's about direction. When a man consistently avoids making small decisions, he unintentionally signals uncertainty. And uncertainty reduces attraction over time. Practical shift: start making small, low-pressure decisions confidently. Where to sit. Where to go. When to move. Not to dominate, but to guide. Because leadership in small moments builds emotional trust in big ones. Here's something most men don't realize. Studies in behavioral neuroscience show that attraction is strongly influenced by emotional contrast patterns, not constant stimulation. In simple terms, the brain doesn't respond strongly to always on. It responds to variation, calm, presence, space, then engagement. Which means too much effort can actually reduce attraction. Not because effort is bad, but because the brain values rhythm more than intensity. That changes everything. A man constantly seeks reassurance. Replies quickly, over-explains, over-checks. At first it feels like care, but over time, it feels like pressure. Now contrast that with a man who is present, but not dependent on her response. He enjoys her presence, but does not revolve around it. This is secure attachment behavior in psychology. Non-neediness signals emotional stability and self-completeness. And paradoxically, that increases attraction, not decreases it. Practical advice: respond with intention, not urgency. Don't chase emotional validation. Because emotional independence is quietly one of the strongest attraction triggers. A man tries to create deep emotional conversations too quickly. It feels forced. Heavy. Unnatural. Another man simply listens. Shares lightly. Waits. And depth appears on its own. This is called emotional pacing. Depth cannot be forced, it emerges when safety and curiosity intersect. When there is no pressure, emotional openness increases naturally. Practical advice: stop trying to go deep. Instead, create space where depth can happen on its own. Because real emotional intimacy is never rushed, it's allowed. If you strip everything down, attraction isn't as complicated as people think. It's not about tricks. It's not about performance. It's not even about doing more. It's about how a woman feels in your presence. Does she feel understood or analyzed? Safe or uncertain? Grounded or emotionally unstable? Seen or evaluated? Because her nervous system is constantly answering those questions, without her even realizing it. And here's the truth most men miss. Women don't respond to effort. They respond to emotional experience. And emotional experience is created in moments most men overlook completely. That's why attraction can feel mysterious, when in reality, it's just psychology happening quietly in real time. When you understand that, you stop trying to force connection, and start becoming someone connection naturally forms around. If this resonated with you, it probably means you've started seeing attraction in a completely different way than before. Not as something you chase, but something you shape through awareness. And I'm curious, which of these psychological triggers surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. And in the next video, we'll go deeper into something even more misunderstood: why women lose attraction even when nothing wrong happens. Until then, remember this: attraction isn't created by intensity. It's created by presence that feels safe enough to stay.